Hey guys, welcome to another Crash Course video, this time for Phoebe. So the main goal of this video is to get you started ASAP and learn how to play Phoebe right away. Let's get straight into it. So Phoebe has two modes. I'll talk about the other mode later on. I'll just run you through the mode that you will do most of the time. Starting with a basic attack, it's 3 parts to it. 1, 2, 3. That's all. And then mid-air attack, simple. And she also has a mid-air heavy attack, where she rides her staff like this. And if you have her inherent skill level, you can do it twice. If you do a mid-air dodge, it also resets it. You can do it one more time, like so. Alright, now for her Forte, it's really simple. 2 gauges. The solid bar over here is called Prayer, and the segmented bar above is called Divine Voice. So whenever Prayer is full, Phoebe can activate one of 2 forms. So you look on the right here, this yellow highlighted heavy attack, that's Absolution. And the blue one is called Confession. These are her 2 forms that she can go into when Prayer is full. So we will not talk about Confession for now. I will just talk about Absolution, the yellow one. When Prayer is full, press and hold basic attack. Basically do heavy attack and she will go into a Forte. Absolution. Now you see her segmented gauge is full and Prayer is still charging. So the only way for her to get Prayer is by time. Every 24 seconds, it gets to full again. And then you can do this again. So now that I have activated Absolution, how to know that it's Absolution is that the gauge is golden. And now, if you want to spend the gauge, press 3 basic attack. 1, 2, 3. And see how it's highlighted. And then press heavy attack. So that's Phoebe's Forte attack. And see how it consumes 1/4 of the gauge. So you can do it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then heavy. 1, 2, 3, heavy. 1, 2, 3, heavy. And see how it's still highlighted because her Prayer is full. So let me do it again, like this. And then 1, 2, 3, heavy. 1, 2, 3, heavy. 1, 2, 3, heavy. 1, 2, 3, and heavy. And now I can't access it again until Prayer gauge is full. So all you need to do is just wait for it. And notice that the gauge is still golden. It means that Phoebe will always stay in whichever form you leave her in. So right now I'm in Absolution. So you just need to know that even when the gauge is empty, Phoebe will not cancel out of her state. Now for her resonance skill, it's also really simple. She will place down a field for 30 seconds, like so. This field will slow all enemies for a few seconds. And then when you attack them from outside of the ring or from inside of the ring, there will be different effects. So if you attack enemies from outside of the ring, it's gonna pull them to the middle. But if you attack enemies from inside the ring, she's gonna do additional damage, like way more damage. So it's situational. Pressing resonance skill again will teleport Phoebe into the ring, like this. So it's up to you if you want to attack enemies from outside or inside the ring. Now let me demonstrate over here. I'll just place the E skill on them. See how they're frozen? And then they're getting pulled to the middle if I attack from outside. If I attack from inside, it's gonna do more damage. Like so. So that's her resonance skill. Really simple. Just place the ring down and start doing basic attack at them. Dodge counter also changes within the ring. Like so. And then placing the ring again will replace the previous ring. So if you already have an existing ring and you place it elsewhere, the previous one will be destroyed. And then again, if you press E skill, you will go into the ring. Like that. So that's it for her resonance skill. So now you already know what resonance skill and Forte does. Basically, you place the ring down, go into Absolution, hold basic, and then now 1, 2, 3, basic. And then 1, 2, 3, basic. 1, 2, 3, basic. That's Phoebe's operation. Really simple. Now let's talk about the other form Phoebe has. So the one that I explained earlier, the yellow one, that's called Absolution. The other form will be called Confession. This is Phoebe's support form. So what you do, the same thing. Whenever you have a full gauge of Prayer, press and hold resonance skill this time. It's different. So press and hold resonance skill. So see how the gauge is different now? It's currently blue. So during Confession form, Phoebe does slightly lesser damage but she goes into full Spectral Frazzle support. During this form, Feeby can only do her Forte attack twice, and each attack will apply 5 stacks of Spectral Frazzle. So the input is still the same, 3 hits of basic, and then whole basic, and see how half the gauge is expended, and then you do it again, 3 hits of basic, whole basic. So these will do 5 stacks of Frazzle per hit. Another thing to mention is that you can also activate her Forte skill right after her dodge counter instead of 3-hit basic. You can also do it after dodge counter. So after dodge counter, just hold basic and she will do her Forte attack. Now, I've already explained her 2 forms, her Confession state and also her Absolution state. Her ultimate is also dependent on the state that she's in. So when you do ultimate during Confession state, the blue state, it's gonna apply 8 stacks of Frazzle on the enemy. And if you do her ultimate in Absolution state, it's just gonna do additional damage. Alright, so before I talk about the technicalities of her kit, we'll go over the top again to see how she's played. So first things first, you will place your ring down with her resonance skill, like so. And then you can press it again to go in if you want. And then the next thing is to activate her Forte. So to go into Absolution, you press and hold heavy, press and hold basic attack. Now that she's in Absolution, her ultimate has increased damage. You can press ultimate next. And then after this, you can press your echo if you want, and also do her 3 basic and heavy 4 times. So 3 basic, heavy, 3 basic, heavy, 3 basic, heavy, and the last 3 basic, heavy, and her gauge will be empty. And that's pretty much it for Phoebe's input rotation. Really simple. Place ring down, activate Absolution, and then ultimate, and then 3 basic with heavy 4 times, and that's the end. And then you can rinse repeat again. Now for her skill leveling order, obviously the 2 inherent skill, and after you get all the stat bonuses, you can prioritize Forte Circuit and then Liberation and Resonance skill, followed by normal and intro. So Feeby plays around the Spectral Frazzle debuff. If you're not familiar with Spectral Frazzle is the new damage over time debuff exclusive to Spectral characters such as Rover and Feeby now. Like this, whenever Rover does a Resonance skill, it's gonna get Spectral Frazzle, especially with Liberation. And then it's gonna take damage from it. See how it has 6 stacks now? And it's taking damage every few seconds. Like so. So that is Spectral Frazzle. And now, looking at Phoebe's kit. So for Phoebe, if you remember, whenever she does heavy attack, when she has full prayer gauge, she goes into her DPS mode, Absolution mode. So whenever she goes into that mode, she only applies 1 stack of Frazzle to the enemy. And then when she does her Forte attack, this thing over here, basic attack 3, and then you do heavy, that's Star Flash attack. This attack gets 256% damage amplification if the enemy has Spectral Frazzle status. So this translates to Phoebe needing Rover in the team to be the Frazzle support, because Phoebe cannot place Frazzle stacks when she's in Absolution, like I mentioned before. The other mode, Confession, that's the one that places Spectral Frazzle, but you don't want to be in Confession because that will turn Phoebe into a support. For now, we don't have a stronger main Spectral DPS for Phoebe to be a support for, so Phoebe will always play in Absolution most of the time at this period. That's why Phoebe needs Rover to be the Frazzle support. At this point in time in version 2.1, the team that Phoebe goes will always be minimally this: Rover and Phoebe. You always must have these 2 in the team. And for the 3rd slot, it's optional. You can put your usual healer like Shorekeeper or Verena as the healer support. Another alternative is to have Rover to be the Rejuvenating Glow holder. Since Rover has healing from their ultimate, if Rover has the healing set, Rover can provide attack increase for 30 seconds after using their ultimate. And that frees up another slot for the team. That allows you to add an amplification support such as Sanhua or Mortaphy for heavy support for Phoebe. As for Phoebe herself, she will be equipping Eternal Radiance, the new Spectral Frazzle set. You will need to farm the new Nightmare Morning X for this. And for the main stat of the 4 cost, it depends on your weapon. You can go crit damage if you already have a crit rate weapon, the usual DPS substats, and for the 3 cost, it's gonna be element or attack percentage, and 1 cost obviously will be attack percentage as well. Substats, double crit, attack, energy regen, the usual. I would say her weapon is optional. If you already have String Master or Rhyme Drake Sprouts from Yinlin or Zizi's signature weapon respectively, those work as well. The standard 5-star weapon, Cosmic Ripples, work as well. You also have a couple of options for the 4-star weapon as well. The new weapon Ocean's Gift from the fishing event is a good alternative for Phoebe. The BP 4-star rectifier works as well. Fusion Accretion and Jinjo Keeper are also alternatives for Phoebe. As for sequences, every sequence just gives her more and more damage. She's already serviceable at S0. If you want to know, the stopping point would be S3, that's where most of the buffs are. S4 and 5 are really tiny, and S6 just adds an additional slow to her resonance skill and one bonus heavy attack to it. So S0 up to S3 and then jump to S6 if you're talking about her sequences. So that's pretty much it for the Phoebe's Crash Course. TLDR for the team, you always must have Rover to support Phoebe in Frazzle stacks. And then for the third character, it could be anyone. It could be your healer, or you can set Rover as the healer. If you're going for a team like this with Shorekeeper as the healer, Rover can go either Moonlit set or also the new Eternal Radiance set. And last but not least, in conclusion, I would say Phoebe is not a mandatory character to roll because she is a hybrid character that can go full DPS support and also Frazzle support. And we'll just need to wait for Wuthering Waves to release a true Spectral Frazzle pure DPS for Phoebe to support. Then we'll see more value out of her. But then again, this game is easy enough already. Just roll Phoebe for her cute cheeks. I just want to squeeze her cheeks. And yeah, that's it for the crash course for Phoebe's guide. I hope this has been helpful to you in understanding how to play Phoebe. Consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.